Let's talk skill acquisition. Can it stop the Jack Prince syndrome that we have in Nigeria? Elder, good luck. Elder Wisdom Elder is actually joining us now virtually from Benin City, and he will be sharing light with us. Good afternoon and good to have you, Wisdom Elder.
Thank you for having me. Yeah, good afternoon, viewers, and thank you for having me.
All right, thank you for joining. Now, walk us through the Jackpot syndrome. It's a problem. And to an extent, we're having so many skilled and unskilled Nigerians leaving the shores of the country. Do you think uh, having an extra skill will support the economy to be stabilized? Or just walk us through and tell us what's your take?
All right, thank you very much. First of all, and Nigerians or viewers out there, I want us to know that economic hardship, inflation, hyperinflation, and economic challenges are not, they don't observe certain rules to our budget, rules to our planning, and all the rest of them. So some of us might have been used to living our lives with budget, living our lives with planning. But when it comes to hyperinflation, economic challenges, those rules doesn't apply. Yes, because many times the overall sum of your budget does not actually meet the ordinary need. So we have cases of financial crisis, which a lot of us are already going through. Now, in the midst of this, it is possible for us to understand that since this kind of situation does not observe our everyday protocol, then we should as well not be uh, tied to or stereotyped to a particular way of handling economic challenges. We should be broad, we should diversify, we should also be aggressive. We should also approach it through several other ways, not just one way. If you are using one way and you are praying every day, yeah, I will assure you that you are only going to be manifesting your level of knowledge in a place where it does not apply or operate. That's the truth. So as it stands now, we should diversify, we should be aggressive, we should embrace, network, we should embrace meeting people, getting more information on how people can survive in times like this. And that is what brings us to applying, having to get trained on other skills. A lot of skills are there that also are going to be very, very useful. Not our academic prowess now, not our academic qualification, but we just have to attach a lot of other things. Take, for example, you might be a salary earner and you do not know that cash flow actually is necessary in a time like this in order to sustain certain expenditures that comes around. And how do you get constant cash flow? Is also by engaging in some other things that can be, introducing funds into your account from time to time. That is how to boost your cash flow. So while you are also working, there could be other ways to boost your financial capacity so that those regular needs that are going to be pressuring on salary can also be handled with certain funds that keeps coming through other means of income generation. And that is where skill acquisition comes in, where multi-level marketing, affiliate marketing, that's where a lot of other things comes in. And we'll be talking about all these things in this program. We'll be talking on how the government also has actually contributed in making it even difficult for even young people to even excel in certain areas like these, and the Japa syndrome you also made mention of. But let me make mention of this. Let me say this with regards to the Japa syndrome. Before now, we have become neighbors to the international community. Before now, the social media has made us next door neighbors to anybody in UK, US, and all the rest of them. Once you go online, you can easily chat with anybody. You can see what is going on all over the world. So we have become next door neighbors. So what that implies is that it has given us a lot of options to choose from when it comes to survivor. So you cannot stifle somebody who has actually gone through a lot of skills in life and knows his worth outside this country. You cannot stop such person from even taking the option of living, especially when the country does not provide the absolute enabling environment for that person actually to contribute his own quota into the developmental strides of this country. So it is something that is there, is an option, is an alternative. Leaving the country is an alternative and is a very laudable alternative. A lot of people
Okay.
who are sustaining us here in Nigeria, they are all of them are out there outside the country.
Okay, now quickly walk us through. Are there specific sector in the country or industries where the government should start channeling their strength by encouraging people in this sector or industry organization to empower themselves by getting additional skills? Are there specific areas or it applies to everyone in the country?
Okay, first, I want to say this. For those watching me, I have become discouraged in giving strategies or maybe solutions whereby governments can become interested or thereabout. I've actually become very, very much discouraged. If you watch, sometimes some of us, we don't like coming out to lend our voice, but I will say to the people watching that there are so many other ways you can actually benefit, you can actually become productive. You understand? All of you watching now, we have entered rain. Let's go to agriculture, for example. We have entered the rainy season, and you are watching now that the cost of food item is going high, is rising on a daily basis. Now, I want you to understand that it is possible for you to get involved in this same agriculture and make a lot of money from it. Okay? Now, you have to know, like DPO, a sucker of plantain, take for example, today, could be sold at 250 naira. A sucker, that's the stem of plantain, the live stem, the one that you plant, could be sold at 250 naira, and then plus planting it could be, let's say, 100 naira. That's 350 naira. Just one sucker. Now, if you have one plot, how many suckers of plantain can go into it? If you have 5 plots, how many suckers of plantain? If I use 20 plots, for example, I can run 5,000 suckers of plantain in 20 plots of land. And if I do my 350 times that 5,000, you can record maybe close to, let's say, over a million naira or close to that, not even up to that. Now, after that, let's say that plantain is going to the market in the next 10 months. You know how plantain business is. In the next 10 months, it's going to the market. And now they are selling 5,000 per bunch and all the rest of them. And your plantain makes a bunch, and then you are calculating 5,000 times 5,000 of that, which is going to give you about 25 million naira. Now, look at the cost, look at the land size. And there are so many places some of us can access lands in this Edo state or in other states for as low as, let's say, 250,000 naira per plot. You understand? So some of us can actually make a lot of money through agriculture if we go into agriculture. The side where the government would have come in would have been in subsidizing uh, equipment for agriculture, so that we, as we are going into agriculture, we can easily enjoy mechanized farming. That's the side the government would have come in, so that aside from this planting, for example, we can even go into planting other farm produce. If I use machines to plant corn, for example, I can plant in 3 hectares within 2 or 3 days. I'm done planting with machines. 2 days, I'm done planting in large expanse of land. And I did not bend down, I did not dig, I did not, all those things are gone. So if the government comes in to make provision of these equipment available, local government by local government, creating agricultural development centers in every local government. I'm not even interested in local government agricultural development centers in every local government, and making these machines to be accessible and affordable. This I mean by making people who are coming to, apply for this machine to either provide just the least aspect of it, which will be the fuel, the diesel, to power this machine, and they can apply. Then we have the riders that can be taking that can be under government payroll. I think a lot will be achieved in terms of agriculture, but I'm tired. Yes, it has almost become useless because politicians are just interested in grabbing money. They're interested in borrowing money. You see what we are doing every day. We keep borrowing more money, trying to grab money that, and all. So we are not interested with people's welfare or people's development. So this is coming to the people. Look for a sector you can engage in, the agricultural sector, pay for lease of land, and have an agreement to either farm certain kind of crop. If the owners do not, like I was asking about security, like in a rural area, I'm talking using Edo State for example, as a case study. In a rural area and all the rest of them, there are certain communities where you can access cheap lands, and you can buy those lands, and they have security, so that whatever you're planting, you can also engage the services of vigilante all through that period,
Okay.
and make good use of this opportunity. Vegetables, okra planting is 3 months, maize planting 4 months or thereabout, and all. So there are so many ways we can actually explore. Now, God is giving us rain, and then the land is there already tilled. We get involved. We can actually explore in all these areas. Thank you.
Okay, now you've actually hammered on agriculture to an extent. 75% of your submission is tinting towards agriculture. You will agree with me that to an extent, the farms are not really safe again. People don't really have opportunity to go to farm. And some of these available lands that you actually talked about, they're actually situated in rural areas that are actually situated in ungoverned spaces. How do we manage all this? Because you might literally find an available land for farming in urban setting. Some of this land you actually talked about, they are available in rural settings where you don't really have government presence. How do we manage all this?
All right, it's very possible. If you have estranged yourself from a particular information, it will be difficult for you to handle or accept anything that is also still going on in that area. Take for example, we all know that in Southeast there is sit at home on Mondays, but what we don't know is that people in Southeast still go to their businesses on Mondays. You understand? So like now, some of us, we have heard that there is insecurity, but what we don't know is that there are places that are still secured. The reason is because we have tried to estrange ourselves from the actual actions going on in some of these areas. Like I've mentioned some places to you. Most of these places, many of them, they still have vigilantes, and some of these farmers also they pay every month for this vigilante, and the payment is very minimal. It's something that will not even affect your farm produce at the cost of running your business. Take for example, you are going to have a turnover of, let's say, 25 million at the end of the year, and you are spending something close to less than a million. It's not definitely going to affect you in any way. So there are so many places, Niger State as well, one of the most secure places to farm, and they even lease their farmlands at the cheapest rate because they have large one of the they are even the biggest the states in terms of
Okay.
landmass in
All
the
right, quickly,
country.
Wisdom Elder. Let's manage our time now. I think this might be the last question as we are running out of time. The government is running a 75,000 naira conditional cash transfer to individuals in the country. Some stakeholders are saying this is not wise, as they are actually suggesting that this monies can be converted into having factories. This money can be injected into other aspects of the economy. And this money can be used to train people to have skills. What says you? Let's strike a balance. 75,000 naira conditional cash transfer. Does it make sense?
I think the problem I've noticed, I've observed that this present government is working as if even though they do not come back after 4 years, they will not have anything to lose. That's why it looks as if they are more interested in themselves. They are more interested in what they can grab. They are more interested in what everybody around the government can loot now than what the people will benefit or than building a legacy for the next generation. This is not the first time. The reason why people within a government always project this kind of funds or this kind of grants or whatever is because there are people who are going to benefit more than half of all these things to their own pocket, while the rest can scramble for, let's say, less than one third, and all the rest of them. So it is difficult for whatever Nigerians are saying now to affect the outcome of that position. It's going to be absolutely impossible because we have been saying a lot. The first time they wanted to introduce subsidy, 500 billion, sharing it among states, we queried why that should be done instead of reviving the refineries, all the three refineries. And this is where we are today. They are still making businesses with the lack of working of those refineries. So it is absolutely impossible. It's absolutely impossible for them to have a rethink. It's absolutely impossible for them to rescind that proposal. Is absolutely, because if they rescind on it, then they are not going to have access to the largesse that is going to come out of it. That's absolutely the truth. So all we can be expecting is how they intend to do it. Maybe we'll be looking at the news to see the amount of money they have given to, let's say, Edo State. Very soon we'll hear that they have given Edo State 30 billion, and probably we can see a jamboree of. So it's just going to be impossible because there are people who are there today, whom some of us do not know how they got in there, that are there for something else. They are not there for
Okay.
the people. They are not there to make things right. They have considered themselves as people who are going to grab all they can grab in these first 4 years, and then if it doesn't work out for them after 4 years, they will have nothing to regret or nothing to lose. That's what is happening from the top, from the presidency down. They are not interested to listen to anything that will make this country go forward. Everything that is going on is how we are borrowing more. Our debts just increased in within 3 months, 24 point something trillion. Everything that will make their own personal interest to be very, very well satisfied. That is all we are seeing. From beginning,
Okay.
I've been observing the system. We have not actually projected the need of the people. We have not come to be patriotic. We have not come to sacrifice. We have not come to defend whatever this country and the ancient fathers that stood for this country. We have not come to even defend whatever they stand for. No, they have come to look for how they can grab and they can actually run
Okay.
away with it. So it's unfortunate, my brother.
All right, I'm afraid time is not always our friend on the show, but like I actually told you personally, we'll be looking at from in our next edition. We're approaching where you'll be having lots of businesses, lots of events, and a lot of happenings coming from July and upward. in the months to come. So we might not be having you, we might probably have your wife to be on the show so that we can look at the importance of having other skills, which she's also a master of. Thank you so much, Wisdom Elder, for being on the program.
Thank you. Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you for having me. Thank you, viewers, for watching. I appreciate it.
All right, that was Wisdom Elder, a global affairs analyst, joins us here live from Benin City virtually. This is how far we can go. I will see you on the next one. My name is Daniel Praise Osedebame.